Welcome to the Explainer. Every year during the Super Bowl, there's another game being played, one that happens during the commercial breaks. And honestly, it's way more expensive. Today, we're diving deep into the high-stakes, high-reward world of Super Bowl advertising. So, let's get right to it and ask the one question most of us never really stop to think about. We see the ads, we see the celebrities, we laugh at the jokes, but do they actually work? Are they a brilliant business move or just the most expensive party trick in corporate history? All right, we're going to treat this like a real investigation. First, we'll look at that jaw-dropping price tag. Then we'll break down all the hidden costs. After that, we'll explore the massive potential payoff and, of course, the huge risks. And finally, we'll get to the verdict. Okay, let's start by just wrapping our heads around the sheer scale of this investment. The price of admission to this very exclusive club, it's just staggering. Yep, you're seeing that right. By 2026, the average cost for one single 30-second commercial slot is projected to be somewhere between $8 and $10 million. And that's just for the airtime. And for all that money, all you get is 30 seconds. Seriously, that's less time than it takes to run to the kitchen and heat up your halftime snacks. It's gone in a flash. So when you do the math, it comes out to a number that's almost hard to believe. Over $230,000 every single second. Now, if you think that $10 million figure is a lot, well, we're just getting started. The final bill that a company pays is often much, much higher. I mean, just look at how the price has absolutely skyrocketed. To put this in perspective, an ad that cost about $37,000 back at the very first Super Bowl in 1967 has ballooned into the astronomical figures we're talking about today. But buying the airtime? That's just step one. You still have to actually make the commercial. That means paying for A-list celebrity talent, which can run you millions. It means cinematic production values that look like they belong in a Hollywood blockbuster. And that's not even counting things like music rights or the social media campaigns you need to run just to support the ad. Let's look at a real-world example. Remember that Amazon ad with Scarlett Johansson and Colin Jost? It wasn't just 30 seconds. It was a whole 90-second mini-movie. So when you add up that extended airtime, the star power, and the huge production costs, the total bills soared past $26 million for one ad campaign. So with costs easily pushing $30 million, you have to ask, what on earth is the potential reward here? Why are the biggest companies in the world lining up to write these enormous checks? Well, it all starts with the audience. We're talking over 120 million people watching. Think about it. In today's world where everyone's watching something different on their own screen, there is nowhere else, period, that you can reach that many people all at the same time, all focused on the same thing. And there's a real financial incentive here. It's not just about getting eyeballs. A Meter study actually found that for every single dollar a brand spent on a Super Bowl ad, they saw an average return of $4.60. And that's not just immediate sales. It's what they call a halo effect. The boost a brand gets just by showing up on the biggest stage. But really, the biggest payoff isn't just about direct sales. Success means you become part of the culture. Duncan's whole thing with Ben Affleck, it generated billions of free media impressions. The shopping app Temu saw a huge spike in downloads and even a stock bump. The ad stops being an ad and becomes a conversation piece that gets talked about for weeks on social media. A perfect example of this was that Coinbase ad. It was so simple, right? Just a QR code bouncing around the screen like an old DVD player's screensaver. But millions of people got curious and scanned it, driving so much traffic that it famously crashed their app. It became a viral sensation in just 30 seconds. But here's the thing. For every big win like Coinbase, there's a cautionary tale. This isn't just an investment. It's a massive gamble, where the risk of failure is just as big as the potential reward. The hard truth is an ad can fail in a couple of ways. It could be instantly forgettable, a total waste of money, or even worse, it can be memorable for all the wrong reasons. Remember that nationwide ad from 2015 about the dead kid? It was supposed to be about child safety, but the tone was so dark and jarring during a party that the backlash was immediate. Millions were spent to create a moment everyone just wanted to forget. And this brings us to a huge challenge. How do you even measure success? With a normal digital ad, you can track every click, every single sale, it's precise.
But with a Super Bowl ad, the main goal is brand awareness, which is this fuzzy concept that's really, really hard to connect directly to the bottom line.
So, after weighing the insane costs, the incredible potential rewards, and the very real risks, what's the final score here? Is it actually worth it?
When it comes down to it, brands aren't just buying a commercial. They're buying something that's become almost impossible to get anywhere else. And that's expensive attention. It's this incredibly rare opportunity to have a shared conversation with an entire country, all at the same time. So the final verdict? It's kind of a paradox. The cost is absurdly high, often more than a company's entire yearly marketing budget. The return on that investment can be massive, but it's a total gamble, and it's hard to prove. And yet, for creating a huge cultural moment, for launching a brand into the public consciousness, there is simply no bigger stage. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. As our screens multiply and our attention gets split into a million different directions, maybe the value of having everyone look at the exact same thing at the exact same time, maybe that's becoming priceless. The real question is, who can still afford to pay for it?